Emotional debt. Your body keeps score. And please hear me. This episode is going to set some people free from something they did not even know was keeping them bound. Because the thing keeping you stuck may not be laziness or lack of discipline. It may not be that you need to love God more or that you need another planner or Bible study or routine or another self-care night or motivational speech. The thing keeping you stuck may be emotional debt, pain you never processed, grief you never named, fear you learned to manage, disappointment buried because life kept moving, resentment you call responsibility, anxiety you call wisdom, overfunctioning you call faithfulness, control you call leadership, exhaustion you called obedience. That's emotional debt, and I do not say that lightly. I lived it for over 50 years, carrying a crushing debt in my body, heart, and mind. I was functional. I was surviving. I didn't even know it was happening. I looked strong, but my nervous system was making payments on pain I never fully processed, never brought to the light. I recently heard someone teach on this concept of emotional debt, and it hit something deep in me. The same time I've been teaching and leading a Bible study on finances, and I was contemplating what God was showing me through that. And the imagery became so clear. Debt is unpaid balance. It's something carried, something owed, something that keeps demanding payment until it's addressed. And emotional debt works the same way. You can ignore the statement. You can stop opening envelopes or throw bills in drawers or ignore the email, stay busy. But you can even quote scripture or tell everybody you're fine. But your body knows differently. Your body keeps receipts. And some of us are trying to build a peaceful life while still making payments on old emotional debt. We're trying to walk in freedom while our nervous system's still paying interest on rejection, betrayal, abandonment, shame, grief, disappointment, years of being the one who had to hold things together. That's why you finally, when you have a quiet moment, it doesn't feel peaceful. It's why when you sit down to rest, you suddenly feel restless, irritated, distracted, afraid. That's why silence feels so loud. That's why peace feels so unfamiliar. That's why doing all the right things on the outside still can feel like something inside you're bracing for. So today, we're not going to put a Christian sticker on things and call it healing. We're going to go for truth. Because what stays hidden stays expensive. Welcome back to Salt and Light, Rewired Mind Podcast. I'm Sheryl Gomes, a master's level counselor, faith and fitness leader, wellness coach, author, and someone who believes faith is not meant to just help us perform better. Faith is meant to bring what's hidden into the light so we can actually walk in freedom. Today, we're going to talk about emotional debt, the unpaid emotional balance your nervous system carries when pain is avoided, it's buried, it's minimized, spiritualized, shoved down, and you keep moving, keep functioning. We're going to move through the Salt and Light framework: reveal, reset, renew, restore. Reveal what your body has been carrying. Reset the lie that this is just how I am. Renew your mind with truth and restore your life through one new response. And here's the core learning. You cannot relax deeply while your body is still bracing for something that your mind refuses to name. Emotional debt happens when your body has emotional experience that you never fully process. You got hurt, you had to keep going. You were disappointed, but you had to be mature. You were betrayed, but you had to be the bigger person. You were scared, but nobody had time for your fear. You were grieving, but responsibilities were in the way. So you adapted. You pushed it down. You became functional, dependable, impressive. But pushed down is not paid off. Buried is not healed. Ignored is not gone. And the moment life gets quiet, the debt collector shows up. Not because you're weak, but because your nervous system is trying to bring attention to something that never got resolved. And that's where we have to be honest. Some people are not busy because they are called. They're busy because stillness exposes the debt. Some people are not overachieving because they're passionate. They're outrunning their grief. Some people are not controlling because they are organized. They're trying to prevent an old pain from happening again. Some people are not just emotionally unavailable because they're strong. They're afraid to open the door. I get all of that. And yes, we can do Christian things while still having emotional debt. We can serve while being resentful. We can pray while we feel panic. We can read scripture and still feel numb. That's not freedom. That's performance with worship music on top of it, right? So I've lived this. And if you're used to being the strong one, the capable one, the responsible one, the spiritual one, the one that figures it out, you've got to realize what's going on. Jesus didn't call the impressive. He called the weary and the burdened. not polished, burdened, not pretending, becoming. Let God heal that part of you, that version that tells the truth now. Reveal. Where do you feel like you cannot relax? When the house is quiet, when somebody doesn't text you back, when you feel disappointed or somebody's disappointed in you, when you don't feel like you're producing, when you don't feel like you're needed. When peace enters the room, your body still doesn't trust it yet. And that matters because some of us say we want peace, but our nervous system is more familiar with chaos, and familiar feels safer over what's healthy. When peace shows up, sabotage comes in. We pick up the phone, we start a new project, we create urgency, we replay a conversation, we create problems to solve. We go looking for something to worry about. Not because peace is bad, but because peace is unfamiliar. Our system says, wait a minute, we don't understand calm. Wait for the other shoe to drop. Calm is uncomfortable. We're afraid to get blindsided and we're afraid for things to fall apart. So our body keeps activated. You'd rather stay exhausted than feel unprotected. I did until everything fell apart. A bubble bath and a candle isn't peace. Emotional debt is not paid by aesthetics or exercises, right? It's true surrender and an embodied response. Let's reset. Stop calling every survival pattern your personality. There's a difference between who God called you to be and who pain trained you to become. I know. If you're naturally compassionate, I'm not saying don't be compassionate, but don't say that you don't want to help anymore and keep doing it just because you're afraid to let people down. If you're naturally strong but emotionally shut down, your mind needs to be renewed. Romans 12 tells us that be transformed by the renewing of our mind. The renewing of our mind is not repeating a verse while our body stays in survival mode. Renewing our mind means letting truth confront the lie at the root of our reaction. The lie may be, if I rest, I will fall behind. If I stop controlling, everything will fall apart. If I'm disappointing people, I'm going to be rejected. I might be abandoned. If I'm not useful, I'm not valuable. If I'm not strong, I'm unsafe. Those aren't just thoughts. Those are agreements. And some of those agreements have been running your nervous system for years. And that's why we say, take every thought captive. It's so strong. Taking it captive is collecting. We're taking those thoughts that are collecting interest. They're stealing our sleep, our peace, our purpose. Let us receive the goodness of God without bracing for punishment. Those thoughts are expensive. Renew the moment. Do not say, I should feel this. Say, Lord, reveal what reaction this is connected to. Now, I'm just anxious. What is my body trying to protect me from? Don't just say, this is just how I am. Say, is this who you created me to be, Lord? Or am I just surviving? And you can start getting free. Because once you see the debt, you can stop letting it run the whole budget of your life. Let's restore. The next time you relax your body and your body, when you try to relax and your body fights it, pause, put a hand on your chest or your stomach, breathe. This is not danger. This is emotional debt asking for my attention. Lord, show me what I'm still carrying. Then wait, don't rush past it. Don't judge it. Don't make a sermon out of it. Let truth come up. Maybe it's grief or anger or disappointment. Maybe it's loneliness. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's exhaustion, resentment. God never asked you to carry that. Name it. Bring it to light. God can heal what's in the light. Enemy loves what's hidden. He loves hidden debt. He loves when you're confused, exhausted. You're confusing panic with responsibility and wisdom with busyness and lacking your purpose. God brings truth. He untangles what the enemies fed us. You're not just controlling, you're afraid. I was horrible because I was afraid. Your body doesn't believe that rest is safe if you're a survivor. You shame yourself and then you feel worse. Here's a question. What bill keeps coming due in your life? Is it proving you're enough? Not disappointing people? The bill of staying busy so you just don't feel lonely, or being controlling so you don't feel powerless? The bill of being strong because you're afraid of your weakness? What are you refusing to name? What's overdrafting your peace? What's keeping you in bondage? So today, find one place that you cannot relax. Don't judge it. Don't perform it. Don't over-spiritualize it. Ask what emotional debt might be attached to this reaction. Then invite God into that place. Not a polished place, the real place. The place where your chest might tighten or your jaw clenches or your shoulders go up or your stomach drops. The place where you reach for a distraction. The place you're trying to control. The place you feel guilty for resting. The place you feel uncomfortable. That place. Place it at the altar. Surrender it. Your coping strategies weren't protecting you. They're keeping you stuck. You learn survival, but the truth is surrender. Practice it. Practice it. You're trapped in the old emotional economy. You're trying to make payments on pain that God has already paid for. Just name that debt. That pattern can be interrupted. The mind can be renewed. The body can learn safety, and a life can be restored. This week, don't just ask God for more peace. Ask Him to show you where you've been resisting it, because sometimes peace is not absent. Sometimes peace is standing at the door, but your nervous system thinks it's danger. It's time to stop calling survival your personality. It's time to bring emotional debt into the light. It's time to let God set you free from that part who's been paying off debt for so long that it just feels normalized. So if this analogy was annoying to you, I apologize, but I feel like there's something to this if we can see it in that way that we've been carrying around. Imagine if one of your friends came to you and said, I just found out I have a bill due. I owe $500,000. You wouldn't just say, have peace, have some peace. You would have to look at that, right? So just like the debt that you're carrying emotionally, don't just speak you want peace. Go deeper. Where did that debt come from? Right? You would say to your friend, what happened? Where did that come from? How do we approach this? You wouldn't just go, okay, guess that's how it is. Have peace over your debt. So I hope this analogy helps. I hope that you this week can name one thing, one area where you're carrying that debt, where you don't feel at rest, where you don't have peace. And I pray that you can bring it to light. You can reveal, reset, renew, restore. I'll see you in the next episode.